Hey everyone, this is Matt again, and yeah, it looks like I'll be doing a second matchup video today, and this one is against Drytron, one of the most annoying decks to play against, and honestly, uh, this this matchup is determined by the die roll. If you win the die roll and you go first game one, you pretty much always win, or at least that's how I felt, like, and then if I lose a die roll going, and go second game one, I pretty much always lose. Like, that's just how it's felt playing Drytron historically. It's literally just like a coin flip, right? But this is an interesting Drytron matchup for a few reasons. One, I actually, we do go to 3 games, but I do lose the die roll and go second game one. So I do manage to pull off a win. In this match despite going second game one, and even though I have an auto lose going second deck, right, according to random people on the internet. And yeah, and then the other interesting thing is so ever since Eva got limited to one, a lot of people think, oh well, Drytron won't have as many negates, right? So instead of a Herald having 4 negates, they'll have 2 negates. That's not entirely true. And in fact, if you've been following you know, uh, pro Yu-Gi-Oh play, like tournaments. I think the last Remote Duel Invitational or YCS or whatever, or if you've just been following like, I don't know, if you've just been playing like good Drytron decks lately, you'll notice that they've adapted and that no longer applies to them. They can still bring out a Herald with 4 or more negates, as this match will showcase. All right, so let's get into that. So. Alright, so I have a solid opening hand. Obviously, like, if it gets negated out the wazoo, it won't matter. But yeah, this is a solid opening hand. I have a few plays I can make here, right? But I am going to second as Drytron, and alright, so this is a Drytron player that runs pre-preparation rights with the Herald of Perfection rather than the Herald of Ultimateness. And if you're a Drytron player, or like if you're aspiring or curious to play as a Drytron, I definitely think that this is the way to build it now. So before you would run Herald of Ultimateness because it was a slightly stronger monster than Herald of Perfection, but I think ever since the EVA change, you definitely want to run Herald of Perfection now, as you'll see soon why. But anyway, let's carry on. So yes, and pre-preparation rights is just nice because like it's a 1 for 2 card trade. It's just like great, right? Whereas you wouldn't be a Drytron player would not be able to do this with the Herald of Ultimateness. Anyway, so he grabs Alpha. Yeah, so Alpha and Zeta is full combo for Drytron. So if they have Alpha and Zeta, they can literally like full board, right? So Alpha sends Zeta, grabs Ben 10. Zeta sends Ben 10, grabs the other ritual spell. Ben 10 searches Diviner. Beta Fafnir. Beta Fafnir pitches Gamma. Summon Ben 10. Gamma sends Ben 10 to summon itself and another monster. Ben 10 searches. So in this case, because he already had his Herald in his hand, he actually just goes for the orange light at this point. Because Herald of Orange Light is a negate if you have another. It's a hand trap negate if he has another fairy in hand, and he already had Herald of Perfection because he drew it from pre-preparation. But normally, without pre-preparation of rights, at this point, a Drytron player with Herald of Ultimateness would search this Herald from Ben 10's effect. Anyway, summon Diviner, send Arclight. Arclight searches Eta 10. Yeah, Eta 10's the search you want. Munich Drytron summons Eta 10. Eta 10 grabs his spell back. These two make Beatrice. Beatrice sends Eva. Eva banishes to grab 2 more fairies. Summon. In this case, he summoned Ben 10, right? So normally, so this is the 3rd use of Munich Drytron, right? So if you're against normally Drytron players that run the Herald of Ultimateness, they would be summoning Herald of Ultimateness right here. Because they only get 3 uses of Munich Drytron, right? They use the first one to get Ben 10, use the second one to get Eta 10. Eta 10 recycles it back, and then the third one gets Herald. However, because he has another ritual spell here, he actually doesn't need to use the third Munich Drytron to get Herald. He can use it to get Ben 10. And then this one brings out Herald. And Ben 10 will grab another monster, and then the ritual spell will grab another fairy. Alright, and then he goes, so he doesn't go into Dragoon, or Destroy Phoenix, he goes into Masquerena, which makes sense because Beatrice is mainly for Eva, and there's only one Eva in the deck, which has already been pitched, so, you know, this here is a Nightmare Phoenix package, right? And actually, let's look at their extra deck. Oh, they don't have Dragoon, Anaconda, or Destroy Phoenix. So yeah, it looks like this Drytron player is just playing pure Drytron, and by pure Drytron I mean with just Herald, no other interruptions. All right, so then he ends his turn. All right, let's look at this hand real quick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 fairies. Yo, this is nuts. 6 fairies means 6 negates from Herald, and I have 6 cards in hand. So if he just negates every single card I play, he just wins. Yo, this is so busted. Like, it's unbelievable how. All right, so the whole idea behind Drytrons have 1 Eva, so therefore a Herald of Ultimateness will only have 2 negates instead of 4. However, the Herald of Perfection is better than Ultimateness because it helps them search more fairies, right? So if it wasn't for this ritual spell here recycles a fairy, right? And obviously the fact that he used Amino's Drytron to bring out Ben 10 again, right? Search another fairy, and because Herald of Perfection was searched, from pre-preparation rights, and that means that like one of the I forget which card, Herald of Arclight doesn't have to search Herald, it searches yet another fairy. So he has like 3 fairies more than he would normally have. So I think one of the fairies he opened with, like he had an extra fairy to open with. But yeah, because he ran Perfection and not Ultimateness, he has 3 extra fairies in hand that he would normally not have. So normally if you think about like the Herald of Ultimateness route, you bring out Herald of Ultimateness, you bring out Dragoon, and you have 1 negate from Dragoon, 2 negates, usually 2, maybe 3 negates with Ultimateness, but here he just says, nah, I don't need Dragoon. He just needs 6 freaking Herald negates, right? So yeah, this is nuts. I mean, at this point, I know the writing's on the wall. Like, normally I would just scoop here. Like, as soon as I saw that, I should have just scooped. But I played on just to show you guys how insane Drytron is. Alright, Hornet Drones. Oh, surprisingly he lets me do that. Kagari, okay, this is where he negates. First negate. Bam, done. Second negate. Third negate. Oh man. I'm trying to hold this Nadir Servant for last because, yeah, and then at this point he makes Unicorn. Unicorn will shuffle. Yeah, so I have Eternal Soul. I do have Dark Magician Graveyard, but he still has another fairy, so yeah, this game is over. Like, I should have just scooped, but I play on just to see what he does. But yeah, Drytrons can OTK on the second turn. Assuming they negated your whole board. Yeah, this is just really sad. Yeah. I swear, playing Drytron as or against is just playing Solitaire. Like, it's the least interactive way to play Yu-Gi-Oh! Yeah, Eternal Soul, but it doesn't matter. Like, this is... Yeah, I just surrender here. Okay. So that was sad. Alright, and now let's look at game 2. In this game, I choose to go first, and I side in my going first cards, so let's see what that looks like. So he does have 2 alphas and a delta and a nova, so he can full combo from this board. So I go the Sash Tracker route. I actually get Anaconda here. Yeah, I opt for a Rod so I can search. Grab Eternal Soul. Grab Secret Village. And Summon Limb. Alright, so this is similar to the other video I made with the heroes. Yeah, Secret Village and Summon Limit with Dragoon just wins games. Like, does he even have traps in this deck? I think he's only spells and monsters. Let me see. Oh, he does have Forbidden Droplet. Yeah, there's Forbidden Droplet. Yeah, he has no traps in his deck. So his deck is literally half monsters, half spells, right? And none of his monsters are spellcasters. So yeah, Secret Village literally just shuts down half his deck, and then Summon Limit shuts down the other half. This is hilarious. So, I mean, what? At this point, he should just scoop, but he's going to attempt to combo on. He doesn't know about Summon Limit. I think he's going to try to, like, pop Secret Village somehow, or maybe go into Nightmare Phoenix or Nightmare Unicorn. But yeah, as soon as he gets that second summon, Summon Limit, yep. And then I bring out DM, Cycle Rod. And now look at all these bodies I have to pop. So I pop both the alphas. The reason I pop both alphas is because they're the same name, right? And then I'm actually going to opt to banish Gamma. There's just fewer plays that he'll be able to make. I mean, this game is over. Like, he doesn't really have any more plays. But yeah, at this point, like, banish Gamma. Yeah, game's over. Yep, easy. So again, I basically played Solitaire, right? Like, you stop Drytron by setting in a way to just stop them from playing. I mean, a lot of players opt for Droll and Lockbird, right? Because Droll and Lockbird is probably like the strongest hand trap against Drytron. I sided in Summon Limit and Secret Village. It's more generically good against a lot of decks, just like I showed you against Heroes. All right, so let's do Game 3. So Game 3, he's gonna clearly opt to go first, and in this case, I am going second. So I put in some going second cards, 3 Dark Ruler No Mores, 3 Nibiru's, and I also have I think I also put Pankratops. Yeah, Pankratops. So let's see if these going how effective these going second. And that's the thing about Drytron, like, because they have this card, Herald of Orange Light, like, a lot of time they can just ignore Nibiru. So yeah, you have to be very careful when you Nibiru. You want a Nibiru at a time when they obviously don't have their Herald on the field, and when they're least likely to have Orange Light plus another fairy in hand, right? So you really have to think, like, be smart about your Nibiru, because you don't want to run into either Herald. So let's see how I play this out. All right. So he actually has only Alpha. He doesn't have a second Drytron name, but as you'll see soon, it doesn't matter because of how well these cards combo off. So pre-prep grabs Herald and the Ritual. This one will grab Ben 10. So he summons the Herald immediately, right? At this point, I'm like, oh crap, like, Nibiru is dead, right? This is what I'm thinking. But to be fair, I still have Dark Ruler No More, so I'm not totally screwed yet. Like, okay, he sets up his board. I still have Dark Ruler No More. Maybe I can probably get something done. So we'll see what happens. So Ben 10 cycles back, and then grabs Diviner. Diviner sends Arclight. Arclight will search Mino's Drytron. So he grabs another Diviner. So he makes Beatrice, and at this point he actually uses Beatrice to pitch Gamma rather than pitching Eva. And obviously because Eva's in his hand. Like, I don't know that, but like, at this point you should suspect, oh, he must have Eva in hand. Or he just really wants a second Drytron name. That might also be the case, because he only has Alpha. So he actually gets a little greedy here. He pitches Herald of Perfection to summon Gamma, right? Because I think he expects to bring back Herald of Perfection through this ritual spell here, Mino's Drytron. At this point, I try to Nibiru, right? I'm like, okay, this Herald is off the field. They have 4 cards in hand. He already used Diviner, right? Diviner was already in the graveyard. So I figured this is the best time to Nibiru, because what are the odds he has Orange Light plus another fairy in hand, given that he already sent Ben 10's in the grave, Diviner's in the grave, and Perfection's in the grave. Turns out he has it. So yeah, Nibiru gets screwed here. Eva grabs 2 more fairies. By the way, this Herald of Orange Light is not once per turn, by the way. Yeah, so he makes Mu Beta. Mu Beta will pitch Delta. Oh, I get it. He's not getting Zeta because he already has both ritual spells. Yeah, Zeta's pointless here. Okay. And then he brings back Ben 10. Cycles back the ritual spell. Delta draws him a card. Yeah, Drytron is just nuts how plus their... Yeah, brings back Herald, instant fusion. And he actually opts for Appaloosa. Damn, okay. So instead of IP Masquerena, he's like, you know what? I just want 4 more negates. Yeah, so because Nibiru forced him to ditch some fairies, he only ends the game with 4 fairies in hand. So that's 4 negates for perfection. So that's clearly fewer negates than game 1, but he opts for Appaloosa, so that's 4 more negates. So he has a total of 8 negates here. Oh man, this is yeah. Drytron is I swear this is the best deck in the game. Like, there's no way anyone can convince this is not the best deck. Anyway, all right. So I draw. Luckily, I have Dark Ruler no more. Bam. All right. Bring in Magician Souls. So he could have negated Magician Souls here with Herald of Orange Light, but I think he didn't because I haven't used my normal summon yet. I think he might be waiting because I negated his board. He has 1 negate, right, which is Herald of Orange Light, and he was smart to hold it because obviously like the Magician Soul summon is a special summon. I haven't even used my normal summon, right? So yeah, he should definitely be holding this. So that was smart on him. So okay, so a few things I want to say. All right, so I special summon Ecclesia here, and really I should have normal summoned because I should have thought about him having Herald, but because I still have my normal summon, he still might be holding for that, and because he's seen that I run Dragoon, like, he might be holding off till Anaconda, which is the smart play, honestly, right? Because you never know, I might have another normal summon. Like, if he negates this, I might have Rod, right? Um, so I go into Anaconda. Anaconda pays 2,000. So at this point, he attempts to Herald. But I have Call by the Grave. So I am able to stop that, and then Dragoon does go through. And now with Dragoon going through, I pop his board. And since he's under Dark Ruler, he takes no damage. So there's no point in me attacking. Yeah, so this is a good spot. So I'm at, obviously draw 2 from Soul Servant. So yeah, I have Eternal Soul for another body. So I have 1 negate. I'm going into his turn with 1 negate, which will pitch this for draw 2 on the following turn. But I've taken out his Appaloosa and I've taken out his Herald. He has 2 cards in hand. So at this point, I'm kind of feeling, okay, I think with one negate should be enough for me to survive this, right, with only 2 cards. Because, yeah, even though, like, he has 3 different Drytron names in the graveyard, like, he needs to be able to tribute cards on the field or hand. And actually, no Drytron monster can tribute Herald, right? They can only tribute other Drytrons or a ritual monster. So let's see what he draws. So he gets lucky and draws another Drytron, which allows him to combo off. So he goes Gamma first. So he recycles his spell. So at this point, I think he's avoiding going into Herald because I can just attack over it with Dragoon, so it's pointless to go into Herald. And yeah, I think he's trying to summon this guy, the Meaningless Drytron Draconus, because it's a 4K beater. But at this point, I use the negate. So if you're unsure when to negate Drytron, negate and destroy Beta Fafnir because it's such a big extender. Not only is he allowed to ritual summon using its materials as tributes, but also this pitches cards to the graveyard, and if he does get this monster on the field, then this becomes a negate, right? So yeah, Beta Fafnir is typically where you want to negate. If you have 1 negate against Drytron, this is it, I think. Like, not counting Jolan. I'm saying like a generic negate. So kill that. He tries to Entis. So Entis is gonna pop Eternal Soul. Here's a trick that y'all might not know. If you know your Eternal Soul is about to get popped, use it to bring back Dark Magician, because look what happens. It'll destroy. When it gets destroyed, it activates in the graveyard as Chain Link 1 in the new chain. And so actually, so if I had Magician's Rod in my graveyard, which I don't, I thought I did, but I don't, then you could chain Magician's Rod to the graveyard Eternal Soul, pitch Dark Magician, and bring back Rod to your hand. So, that's what you would normally do. So, yeah, sorry, my demonstration kind of messed up, but that's okay. So he tries to bring back Herald because he can't summon anything else. And I just pop. Oh, I draw 2. I pop. He tries to negate. Doesn't matter. Pop again. Yeah, just summon Dark Magician here. Just because I want to finish him. Attack for game. GG. Alright. So yeah, it does feel like, yeah, Drytron's definitely a BS deck. Something that deck's got to get banned. Like, Eva's got to get banned, I think. I think that would significantly hinder their power. Because it basically, like, prevents 2 more negates, right? And, yeah, basically, you win the die roll, or you just hope you get lucky going second after siding, and you get your going second cards. So I drew 2 of my going second cards. Imagine if I did not have Nibiru or Dark Ruler no more. I probably would have been screwed that game. But, yeah, Drytron is not fun to play against. And, you know, if you're one of those people who like to run hand traps, you would put in Draw and Lock Bird, right? But of course, Draw and Lock Bird can still be stopped by Herald of Orange Light, so it's not like guaranteed either. So I don't know. I prefer Dark Ruler because Dark Ruler cannot be stopped by Herald of Orange Light. Nibiru can, as you've seen, but yeah, I've definitely played against enough Drytron players where Nibiru did go through, because you know you want to wait to Nibiru right before they have access to their Omni Negate, right? So if you're playing against Herald of Ultimateness deck, you know, the third Meteos Drytron is when they usually bring it out, and you want to chain Nibiru to that, so that they can't even resolve the ritual spell. In this case, actually a lot of Drytron players play around that by making Herald their 5th summon. In this case, this guy brought out Herald of Perfection early, which protects against Nibiru, but also he didn't really have a choice, right? Like, he had 1 Drytron name on his hand, and he didn't want to end the board with so few negates. So yeah, he ended up having to send Tribute Herald to bring back later, but then in that intermediate time when Herald was in the graveyard and he brought out like his fairies on the field, I thought, okay, it's a good time to Nibiru, but alas, he still had Orange Light. But that's okay because I still forced him to, you know, use 2 negates on his turn, right? So 1 card burned 2 negates essentially. Anyway, yeah, hope you learned something, and yeah, practice those die rolls. You definitely need them against Drytron. Going first against Drytron, I always feel like safe because yeah, basically the result is similar to game 2. I don't main deck Secret Village, but like, you know, I do main deck Skill Drain. I do main deck like obviously Solemn cards. So yeah, going first in game 1 against Drytron, I've definitely won a lot of just because of like most of my main deck cards are for going first. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. Take care.